Hello guys, you are welcome to Network Pips. So in our last video, we discussed about how we can console to this network device and gain management access to them. So you plug in your console cable, then plug the other end of the USB to your laptop. So once you have done that, the remaining one more thing, you need to download the any SSH client software out there. There are a lot of them. You have Putty or Putty, whichever you want to call them, which is free. Just go to Google and type Putty, and you are going to download Putty. We have Secure Shell. Secure Shell is not free. We have Cisco CLI. We have Teratem. We have many other ones. So you can mention, but I'm going to use Putty for here to show you how you can do that. So if you click your Putty, Putty gives you these SSH clients give you terminal access to these your devices. So you like, once you open your Putty, where you're going to click is your serial connection. By default, it's going to detect the serial line of that console port, of that serial connection, I mean to say. But Putty does not usually detect that, but most other software detects that by default. So you most likely leave everything by default and open. But since Putty does not detect that, you have to go to your device manager and see your serial port and find the line which is connected to, and maybe change it to 3 or 4 or so. Once you have done that, you click open. It's not going to open because I don't have any serial ports connected to this. I'm going to kill this one. So that's about that. Like I told you guys earlier in this course, all the labs will be built around Cisco Packet Tracer. So I'm going to open Cisco Packet Tracer to perform some of these administrative functions that we discussed about in the last class. So we are going to open configure the host name, the console password, the enable password, the banner, and also a telnet to gain a remote connection to this device. So voila, here is your packet tracer. Packet tracer, you can see, if you come down here, you're going to see the categories where these devices are being grouped. You can see the network device, you can see the endpoint device, all those kinds of things. You click on the network device, you're going to gain access to like routers, switches, hubs, and the rest of them. So you click on the router. I'm going to pick one of the model of the router. Let me pick this 2911 router, one of my favorites. I click on it, then click on it to open it, then go straight to the CLI. Notice what is happening. You can see this asterisk going in. This is the image decompressing. It's decompressing. Immediately it's finished decompressing, it's going to look for the startup configuration. It doesn't see it. It's going to jump right to where the setup mode. The setup mode is going to give you option to go to the dialog mode, or you type no to jump straight to the CLI mode. So the first mode you're going to meet is your user mode. You don't really do anything here. You are just only going to perform only show commands, verification commands, show commands. To see the list of commands that you can perform on this mode, you can use the question mark, the help command, which is the question mark, to find out. So I'm going to type the question mark. It's going to bring me the list of commands I have in this mode. You can see just basic commands, just very few. If I use the command, you can see the show used for show the running system information. I can use the show command, show privilege. I can use the tab key to complete the command I wish to type. You understand? Then I will hit enter. You can see I only have a privilege level of 1 in this mode, which is the least Cisco privilege, the lowest of them all. So to enter the next mode, if I don't know which other command the next mode to, maybe I've forgotten the command to type, this question command, this help command also helps. If I type this help command now, I'm going to see that it's showing me that if I type enter, it's going to take me to privilege mode, privilege commands. It's going to turn on my privilege commands. You understand? So I want to get to my privilege mode. So if I type enable, I can type enable in full, or I can type en. Cisco CLI supports abbreviations. So but if I type e, see what will happen. it's going to tell me ambiguous command, which means there are two commands that start with E, which is the enable and the exit. So I need to type this E to like extinguish it from this exit, which is en. It's only this enable that starts with en. So I'm going to type enable. It's going to take me to the enable mode. If I hit the question mark again, you can see, wow, a whole more commands that is available on this mode. If I type enter, it's going to show me more commands out there. If I show privilege, is going to show me, oh, I have a privilege level of 15 in this command. So yeah, so let's the next mode, like I told you, this mode you can do configuration, you can perform all the show commands in this configuration, but this mode is deprecated for configurations. So which other modes do we have now? We'll have the global configuration mode, and to enter that mode you type configure terminal. So configure terminal is going to take you to your global configuration mode. Notice the prompt also have changed, the config and the hashtag as well. So here you have a whole lot of commands, more than even the privilege mode out there. So to find out what the privilege level on this one is 215. So to perform any show command on this mode, you're going to add do show privilege. I'm going to just use the privation. You can see it's 215. So that's about that. Now why we are here is that we want to perform administrative configuration to these devices right off from the box. Some of the things you're going to be performing, like I stated earlier, we want to change the host name of this device. You can see by default all the devices in your network, we won't like them to be bearing this name, router, all of them. So it's going to make it difficult for us to manage and also administer. So to do that, I'm going to type host name, and let me say, I don't know, after the host name command, I don't know which other command to type again. I can use the question mark, the help command, to find out which other command to type. If I type it, you see it's showing me word. So this is the command is expecting, and also the description. Word is saying me this is the system name. I should type the system name. So I'm just going to give this name, this system, this device, let me say HQ, for example. So you can see I have my HQ here. The name have changed from router to HQ. Then which other thing we are going to do after the after changing this name? We're going to change the password. The console password is where that place I will plug our blue cable. So we don't want anybody to just gain administrative access to these devices. If they just bring maybe any junior admin will just come and bring their blue cable and plug to that device and gain administrative access to it immediately and log into it. So we don't want that. So let's log that port, and each time anybody plug in their console port, there is going to require them to put a password. So to do that, you're going to type the command line console. So it's only one port, so you're going to type 0. If you don't know what else to type, you're going to use question mark. It's going to tell you just 0. You're just going to use 0, and it's going to take me to the line, the console, the line prompt. These are another Cisco prompt mode that we have, apart from the three major mode, the user mode, privilege mode, and global configuration mode. We have other sub mode like the line mode as well. So this line mode, I'm going to set the password here using the command password. Then I'll type the password. Let me give it Cisco 123. Now I've set this password, but I've not told this system to start checking for password. So to enable this system to be checkmating password, I'm going to use the command login to do that. So login, then exit. If you want to go back to the previous mode, you use the command exit, then exit. It's taking me right back into the user mode. If I type enter now, then exit, then it have logged me off from this device. If I hit enter, you see it's asking me for user access verification, my password. So what I type is Cisco123. Then I'm logged back in. So don't worry, you're not going to see the password because of security. It's just going to blank the screen. So which other password that we're going to need again is the enable mode. Enable password. The enable password, you remember each time we want to enter our privilege mode, we usually type enable, and it's going to take us back to our back to privilege mode if I type enable. So we want to lock that mode, this enable mode, that even if just put another level of security, that even if the user or the person got past the terminal, the line ports, the console ports password, also he will also have to type in our enable mode to gain access to this mode. Then also another reason why we are putting this enable password is that most of the time we'll be accessing these devices remotely. We won't be like, we'll hardly be plugging after this administrative management configuration. Now deploy the device, we'll hardly come and be plugging this console device port again to access devices. We will be logging into these devices maybe via SSH or Telnet, which is not secure. We won't be logging to Telnet, of course. It's SSH. We're going to discuss about SSH in Discord later on. And we can't immediately we log into this device, it's going to bring us to this maybe enable mode, and we don't want anybody to have access to our remote that can remote to our device to gain access to our configuration mode immediately. So I'm going to log that this enable mode now by going to configuration mode and use enable, then password, then type the password. Let me say Cisco. Let me say the password will be, okay, let me use enable 123, enable 123. But let's just use Cisco. But let me use enable 123, and that's it. I've logged this mode. So if I exit again, it's asking me for the console password, Cisco123. Enter. You can see it's asking me now the password. I'm going to type enable 123, enable 123. Yeah, then I'm logged back in it. Then get to my configuration mode again. Then which other thing we are required to do? Then setting a banner. Banner is more like a welcome message telling us, oh, this device is owned by maybe so organization. If you don't have authorized access to this device, please don't do any changes to it. Let me say to set that, you're going to use the command banner. Then let me do a question mark. You're going to see different types of banner that we can set. You can set the login banner, we can set the message of the day banner. So the one we want to set is the message of the day, MOTD, message of the day. Do a question mark again. It's going to tell you that use a delimiting character to start it and also to end it with a delimiting character. So I'm going to use, let me say, a character to start this banner message and also use that same character to end it. I'm going to use, let me say, ampersand to start it, then enter. To start, I can start giving me, it will give me room to start entering my banner. I can say hello guys, welcome to network peeps. So after I'm done typing that, I can give a space and use that same delimiting character to indicate that this is, I'm done typing my message by typing that ampersand again and enter. So it have accepted my my banner message. If I log off now again and type enter, look at the first message I'm going to get. Ooh, hello guys, you're welcome to Network Pips. Then he's asking me now for my password, which I type Cisco 123. Then enable, I type enable 123. Then yeah, I'm logged back into this guy, config T. So which other thing again we are asked to do? We are asked to configure telnet on this device. So most of the time we won't be consoling on this cable. We'll be accessing it via remote connection. So one of them is telnet, but we won't be using telnet in the production environment because it's not secure. All your password and tests will be on plain text, and in your configuration will be on plain text. So what we'll be using is SSH, but later in this course we're still going to discuss how we can configure SSH and they set it up as well. So but for now, let's see how we can set up this telnet on our device. So I'm going to bring up my PC now. Let me say this my laptop. I'll bring up my laptop, then go to my cable category. Now we have different types of cable here. We have the console cable. We click on it. We have the straight through cable, the the crossover cable, I mean to say, and some other cable. These are the most popular ones. So but if you don't know which other one, what type of cable that can use to connect to this device, for example, you can just click on this automatic, this one that looks like Thunderbolt, and just click here and click here. It automatically pick the type of cable to connect router and the PC together. But let me assume that I know. I'm going to cancel it and use this crossover now and click here and select plug it to the Ethernet, gigabit Ethernet interface. I'm not plugging it here, the console port. I'm not plugging it to the auxiliary port. These are all management interface ports. So this is where I want to plug these to. Plug this to here, then click on my PC. I don't want to. These are all management interface ports as well on the PC. This is where you want to plug that on your first Ethernet port. I'm going to plug it there. Then I've gained access. I've connected these two together. So let me say, of course, you know that for communication to happen between these two devices, you are going to need an IP address. So let me say the IP, the network on this guy should be like maybe 992.168.10.0/24 network. That is what will be on this guy. So let me say I'm going to give this router. I'll give this router maybe say .1, and I'm giving this PC. Let me say .2. So you already know what I mean. So this is my network between these two guys. So out of that address now, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have like 254 valid hosts here. So my first valid address is 192.168.10.1. I'm giving that to my router interface on this gigabit internet 2. Then the one for the .2, I'm giving it to my PC on his fast Ethernet 2. So I'm going to click on my router. So to configure telnet, one of the first things you're going to do is to go to that interface, which is, what is it again? Gigabit Ethernet 0. Abi? So I'm going to go to that gigabit interface, gigabit. You can do a question mark to see the of interface that you have. You can see gigabit Ethernet. I'm going to do gigabit Ethernet 0/0. That's the interface name. Then to set an IP address on this interface, you use the command IP add IP address. Then you start typing the address 192.168.10.1. Then the subnet mask is /24. You're going to type it in full this time, not /24. So it's going to be 255.255.255 dot what 0. You type enter. So you can see by default this interface, Cisco router interface, will be shut down, unlike the switch. To verify if it's shut down, I'm going to do show. Remember, if I'm on my global configuration mode, to perform any show command, I'm going to use do in front of that show IP interface brief. Then it's going to bring out that interface. You can see that interface now has an IP address, but it's still down. So it's down. The status of this interface is administratively down, and line protocol. The line protocol is the protocol between him and that PC that is connected to. Administratively, the status is that it's being shut down by an administrator. So, which means I can break up this interface since I'm seeing that it's administratively down by issuing the command no shut down. So if I issue the command no shut down, this my interface is going to come up. You can see line protocol or change interface change interface states up. So if I issue that command again, I might not really need to type this command again. I can use my up arrow to bring up my previous command and hit enter. You can see the interface now is now showing up. It's now showing up. So I'm going to exit from that from this mode now. So to configure okay, I'm going to come back there again. Okay, I'm going to come back there again. Interface, let me go back there again and set a description to that interface. Interface G0, I can type that like this, G0/0. Then it's always advisable for good management, for good administrative purpose, to set description on each interface that you configure. Setting a description like so it can enable you to determine which interface is this. So to set a description, you use the command description, then then say what, just give a very descriptive message that will describe this interface. I'm going to say, let me say connection to PC. So I'm going to do it like that. Then exit. Then to set up the telnet now, you're going to go to line VTY. So we have like where is it? Okay, VTY. We have like 15 virtual lines that we can enable at the same time. But I just want to enable only let me say only 5. So to enable 5, you're going to use 0 to 4, which means you're enabling just 5 lines. So I'm going to enter. So here now you set your password on that line, which is password, let me say give it telnet 1 2 3. So but remember, you are setting this password, but if you do not tell the system to checkmate people logging in with this password, it's not going to ask them for password. So I'm going to use the command login as well to tell him to request for request password for users. Also, I'm going to use login. Then exit. I can log off now. I'm done setting my configuring my telnet. So I'm just going to jump straight right into my PC. Go to desktop, go to IP config, and give my PC a static IP 192.168.10.2. I'm going to click here to automatically pick that subnet mask. I don't need a default gateway, it's on the same network. So I'm going to close this and I'm just going to perform a just normal simple ping to know if this is reachable. Ping 192.168.10.1. ping command is used for testing reachability between two end device. Like, oh, can I reach my neighbor, or can I reach this so device? Understand? So I'm going to check if I can reach that router using this ping command. If I type that ping command, I can see that I'm getting a reply from that router. So it's reachable. So I'm going to close this and log in using my terminal. So I'm going to use okay, I'm going to go to I'm going to log in using telnet, which the command is going to be telnet. Then type that device which you want to telnet to, 192.168.10.1. so you can see, hello guys, welcome to network pip. It's asking me for password. You know the password is asking me for. Can you guess the telnet password? Telnet 123. Telnet 123. So I've logged back in now. So if I hit enable, it's now going to be asking me for the enable password, which is enable 123. Then I'm back running. Oh shit. Okay, I'm back running. I can change this host name now. Let me say I want to change it to, let me say let me change it back to, let me say, router, for example. And if I jump right into that router now, I just made a change to that guy. So if I type enter, I'm going to see that the host name have changed to router. I'm going to change it back to HQ back. Yeah. So to verify all the configuration that we have done on this device, we're going to use the command do show. Remember, if you're on global configuration mode, you use do in front of the show. Do show running config to do that. So it's going to give you bring you out all the configuration that you have done on this device. You can see the host name that we have changed. You can see the enable password. If you keep on scrolling down, you see the IP address that we configured on that interface. Keep on scrolling down again, you see the console port password and the telnet password. So all these passwords are on plain text. For example, this enable password, Cisco no longer advise making use of this enable password. So we have another more secured one that we are going to use rather than the secure password, which is the enable secret. So to use that enable secret, to use the command enable secrets. To do that, then you start typing the password. Let me say secret secret 123. Yeah. So this enable secret overrides the normal usual enable password. So if I exit from this device and log in again, it's going to ask me for the console password, which is Cisco 123. Then enable. So this, you have two passwords now, enable password and enable secret. What is requesting for now is the enable secret. So let me even say I type enable 123. It's not going to accept it, but if I use secret 123, it's going to accept it. Then let me get back to the interface. Let me do show run, and you can see now that password is now encrypted. We type C password, then the enable password is still on plain text. So all these other ones are still on plain text, but these are not this is not a good practice, leaving your password on plain text on your running configuration, because of let me say I have a junior admin maybe standing behind me while I was troubleshooting this system, and I issued this show running config, and the guy was like, oh look at the enable line console password, oh look at the internet password, those kind of things. So it's not advisable to leave this your password on plain text. I'm going to show you how you can encrypt or this your password or your running configuration. So to do that, you use the I think is service password encryption command. You can see if you do a question mark, once you see this CR, which means this this is a valid command. You can hit enter and it will accept it. So if I hit enter, it will encrypt all my password on my running configuration. If I verify again, do show run, you can see all my password have been increased with type 7 password encryption. So you can see it, type 7 password encryption. This password, one of the downside of this type 7 password encryption is very easy to decrypt it. In fact, you can go to Google and type 7 password decryption. The first link you see there is just the same. You copy this password like that and they paste it, and it will show you your password back. So it's very easy to decrypt type 7 password, but furthermore, you are going to learn more type of secure more a type of password that we have is secure, like this password type of 5 is more secure than the type 6, than the type 7, I mean to say. So having done all this configuration, we are good to go, and we can remotely access our device now from our PC. You can see it might even be like our device might be sitting in our branch, name is say in our branch in Enugu, and maybe we are sitting at the headquarters in Lagos, and that's one of the advantage of setting up these devices and deploying to this location, and we will just remotely access these devices from there, just like that, and make any changes. You can see if I do show run again, I can view all those running configuration just from the PC. So, but we have done this configuration very well and good, but we have not saved this configuration. If we suffer a power loss in this device, all the configuration that we have done on this device is going to wipe out, and we can start fresh. So how are we going to save our configuration? I'm going to use the command copy running config to startup config. Remember, this configuration file that our devices usually look for when starting up is usually startup config. I'm going to save it, and it's going to ask me the destination file. You want to save it locally on this system, which is default, or do you want to save it over a TFTP server or FTP server? I'm going to just leave it at default to save it locally on this device system, and it's going to build the configuration and going to show you okay that it has been saved. So yeah, that's it. So if that's all about it, and I think, yeah, basically that will be the end of this video, and I would like to thank you for watching. Seeing the next video, it's very easy. You just have to watch this video over and over again. If you don't understand, you can ask questions on the same comment section. Yeah, I know it might be a little bit of overwhelming at the first, but it's very easy. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video. Thank you.